Hi, welcome to my channel, and this beautiful build here is a build my sister did for The Sims 3, and today we're gonna try and recreate it in The Sims 4. I can already tell just from this brief look at this image, it's going to be very difficult, so thank you so much, sibling. Don't have The Sims 3 on this particular PC, so I couldn't actually go in game and show you guys, so you're just gonna have to settle for some screenshots, I'm afraid, but they're nice. It's nice. Let's have fun. Let's go through the screenshots. So as you can see, this is our exterior. It's kind of like a more Mediterranean vibe, which checks out. My sister loves a Mediterranean house. So we're probably going to build this in Tartosa. I'm trying to see what we're going to be able to do. And I can already tell, from the fact that there's a garage and we do not have those, it's going to be more about getting the vibes right than a perfect recreation. So this is the back of the house. As you can see, that we've got a whole nice pond going on. Isn't this a beautiful house? Isn't this lovely? I really like the detail on the different open and closed windows and stuff. Not gonna be able to recreate that, I don't think. I mean, maybe again with some of the My Wedding Story stuff, there is some shuttered windows, but I don't think any of them are closed. We'll have to go through and check. We also got a pond, which I'm not looking forward to doing. I am not good at ponds. The roofing is easy, that's good. Alright, so this is the floor plan, is what we're working with. So we have the entryway to the bottom left. Then we have the living room and a really large entryway. We have that garage that I can't do. Then we have a little laundry room in the back. Then into the kitchen and dining area at the back there with a little outside patio. And then on the top floor, we have another sitting area in the top left, sorry. Then we have a activity space, I guess, because I can see a little easel and things. Then we have a large bathroom, the shared bathroom. Then we have a kids bedroom and a primary bedroom with a private balcony and an ensuite. Goodness gracious. I told her this is partially not that it's bad. It's not bad. This is just going to be really challenging to do. Because I said, oh, when she was saying she was going to make this, I said, oh, you should make a 2-bed house. And in my mind, that translated to you should make a house that's just big enough for 3 Sims, basically. But she took it as long as there's 2 beds, it can be any size. So yeah, let's jump into game now and start building. So I had originally intended for this to be a let's build, we build it together, I kind of go through what I'm talking about, and I did film the whole video with this intending to be a let's build, but I was having an absolute ball and I didn't realize the time ticking by, and I ended up spending, I think, almost 5 hours building this, which is just ridiculous. I don't know why it took me so long. Usually, even if I do a house this size, it doesn't take me that long, but this one, for whatever reason, just took me hours and hours and hours to do. So I ended up having to just speed up all the footage, which was an absolute nightmare because obviously I was filming it with the intention that it was going to be a let's build, so it was filmed differently than I would if I was just doing a speed build, so I had to edit it quite a lot. So if you see it jumping around and kind of doing a lot and being really all over the place more than my usual speed builds are, that's why. It's because I had to do all sorts of shenanigans to make this actually be a reasonable length build, because I can't put up a 5-hour video of me doing something. I mean, I don't think anyone would be interested in watching that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't want to edit a 5-hour video either, so it ended up becoming a speed build. So I'm sorry if you were looking forward to doing a let's build, but I'm not good enough to do that yet. One day I'll get better. I think it's probably the size of this, because I mentioned before, my sister made this and she made it absolutely massive, which is my own fault. I should have been make it small, do it little, but also 2 beds, because this is absolutely enormous. It's great. It's a good size. You have plenty of room for activities, but it just took me absolutely hours to do it. So I do apologize if the video is a bit all over the place, because it felt like it when it was edited. Even the editing process took me forever. I think I've been editing this for days by itself, just because I had to do so much work in making it actually be a reasonable length, but then also not just me placing objects, because because it kind of got to that point where it was literally just me. Every time I put down an object, there was a new car, and it almost was getting like stop frame animation kind of, which, don't get me wrong, I think is a really cool way of doing it. Like, I've seen those videos before on like TikTok and stuff when they do like a whole stop frame animation thing, but that wasn't the intent, so it doesn't look as good as those people that do that, and it also, it's not really the vibe I was going for. So yeah, I had to kind of go back and forth on how I was doing it to make it still look like a speed build and not just like, yeah, like I'm just putting stuff down. But like I said, it's not that I wasn't having fun doing it. Like, I was having a great time the whole time. It's just that not the vibe I was going for. Either way, let me actually talk about the build a little bit. So at the moment, as far as I can see at least, I'm doing like the outside kind of landscaping, or not landscaping, but like putting down all the windows, getting on some nice little boxes and stuff. Because obviously I was looking at the pictures and things while I was building it and things. And the biggest problem that I had, at least, is the fact that with The Sims 3, you can make everything look like everything, obviously, because you have that color wheel and stuff. So you can just like take the color from the thing that you want it to match and just match it, and it's like, it's that simple. But because of that, that's what my sister did, you know. It's like, she went through and made all the furniture match each other and made all like the windows match each other and all that fun stuff. But obviously I can't do that, so I just have to do the best I can with what I have. So a lot of the time it was kind of like, what has the same vibes of what I'm going for, not necessarily the exact same item, because obviously we don't have the exact same items in every game, which just makes sense. Like, it's just not, that's never going to be the case. But it's, yeah, do I want to go for like the right color? Do I want to go for the right vibes, the right shape? So it was a lot of like, that's probably what slowed me down, to be honest, is that I had to like consider a lot more than I usually would, being like, does this look like the picture? Is it the right vibes as the picture? Because sometimes you have it where it's like, this thing is the right vibe, but it's absolutely not the right size, or it's not the right shape, and it looks too different. So it's a lot of like, I guess, considering, and that's what made me, I think, take so much longer, is that I was sitting and like thinking about stuff. I've cut out all that like thinking process, basically. I'm basically just chosen to show you what I did actually decide on, just because, yeah, I wasted so much time being like, maybe this, maybe that. Like, you'll probably see it a few times in this video where I like pick things up and I like compare them to other things, because like I said, this was meant to be a let's build. So the whole time I was building it, I'm like chatting away, I'm talking about why I'm doing stuff, I'm talking about like what thing I think makes the most sense and stuff. So, you know, yeah, I'm just ending up with just the vibes. All right, that's what I'm going for, the vibes. It's also the end of the school run when I'm like recording this voiceover at the moment, so I do deeply apologize if you hear cars zooming past. You'd think because it's the school run they would be going like, you know, slower because there's kids around and stuff, but apparently not. What do I know, you know? What do I know? But anyway, I started on this build doing all of the outside first, just because I thought that was the stuff I could replicate the easiest without having to spend, you know, so much time like double checking each of the sizes, just because obviously there's less stuff outside than there is inside, and it's easier to just replicate like a Mediterranean house kind of thing, and it doesn't look too different, I don't think, at least in my opinion. Maybe you guys think differently, but I think the outside looks the closest. I think the inside gets away from it a little bit because, you know, obviously, yeah, we don't have the same items. I can't customize them to be the exact same shape, so yeah, it's all about like kind of making it look like the picture. But I think the outside definitely looks a lot closer than the inside ends up doing. But it was a really fun challenge, just because, one, this isn't a style of house I build a lot. I don't do a lot of Mediterranean builds, and that's absolutely where my sister thrives. It's her absolute favorite style of house. It's her favorite thing to build, look at, everything. And yeah, it's just a lot of like, it's fun to do something different, and obviously because I'm doing something different, it's challenging, but it's stretching my leg a little bit. Like, a lot of this stuff I would never choose to use, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of the Oasis courtyard kit, I would never use that because a lot of the time there's no reason to, but it fits really nicely in here. And a lot of the time I wouldn't choose to like maybe lay it out in the way that it's laid out. Like, there's a lot of excess space in here, and not that that's a bad thing at all, like, it isn't. It's just that that's not something I would do. I can't help but like fill up every single space that's on the thing, like I'm going to put up everything and just try and make it look fuller. But particularly in The Sims 3, that wasn't something you could do because you needed more space to navigate stuff. Like your Sims would be like bothered by things if you didn't put it, like they wouldn't be able to get to stuff. They're not as smart as they are in The Sims 3. No, the Sims 4 Sims are smarter than Sims 3 Sims in some respects. Like, don't get it twisted, they're still stupid. At the end of the day, they're still Sims, but in some, at least in terms of navigation, Sims 4 Sims are better at navigating space, so it's not such a big deal to have like large areas because you can just fill it up with stuff and they'll still navigate it. But in The Sims 3, that's just not really the case. So I ended up, leaving the big spaces, even though in a normal build, that's just not something I would do. But I still think it turned out really, really nice. And it definitely, like, I think if you saw the two photos next to each other, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is based off of that one. And I think it makes sense. It's just, it's not exactly the same, and I'm never going to be able to get it exactly the same. But I hope the idea comes across at least that it's meant to be the same house, even if the color scheme is way off, the items are way off. Basically, the only thing that's the same is like the placement, and even then, it's a little bit off because obviously I can't measure exactly and things like that. That's kind of one thing. Sorry to get off topic here, but you know what you signed up for when you came to watch one of my videos. But that's kind of what I'm excited for with like Paralives and stuff, because they have it so that you can actually like individually drag each wall to the exact length that you want it to be, and it pops up with like a meterage. I don't know if that meterage is going to be correct to real life. Like, I don't know if 1 meter in the game is the same as 1 meter in real life, but at least it's like a consistent sizing that you can do, but also it's not locked to a grid. So obviously with this, if I want to make a 5 tile wall, it has to be a 5 tile wall. I can't make a 4.5 tile wall or 3 3/4 tile wall or something like that. So with Paralives, at least, that hopefully will be something that I can actually do and like properly recreate other builds and things. So that's something I'm kind of looking forward to with that, but not the main purpose of this video. So to get back to what I'm doing, so as far as I can see at the moment, I'm working on the laundry room, and this was one of the more fun rooms just because it was really easy to get it right. Like, a lot of the items we do have are just the same because like how different can you make a washing machine and stuff. The only real difference between things like that is like the washing machines and dryers in The Sims 3 are like top loading ones, because that's kind of what you would have in America. I think that's a lot more common, is to have top loading ones. But then the ones in The Sims 4 are all front loading ones, which is actually really, really common in the UK. That's most of what we have. I don't think I've ever seen anyone that's had a top loading one, but I know that's not normal for Americans, so I guess it made sense to The Sims 3, but I don't know why they changed it. Then again, I know that The Sims 4 team is trying to be better with like actually having stuff from other cultures and like representing other cultures in a way that other games just didn't really do. Like, obviously we've got this new Thai world that's coming out, or Thailand inspired world that's coming out, and they have in the new Home Chef Hustle kit, they made like a European sized dishwasher that's like smaller, and it really does suck about the dishwasher being like, it doesn't fit on end cabinets, and I really, really wish it would, just because it is small enough to, but it won't work even with like move objects on or anything, because obviously it needs like a set location or whatever. It needs to be in a drawer, but I really wish it would fit in those end counters, because it is actually small enough to do so and fit like neatly. And I kind of don't like how it lines up with the big counters, because you always end up with this little bit overhanging, and depending on the type of counter you have, that can look really, really bizarre. Sometimes it works, because some of the ones that we have are like, they end up looking almost like you've made a drawer, if that makes sense. So a lot of the Sims ones, all the drawers are like the full length, you know, they don't have half drawers, but I really like having like a smaller drawer, because that's usually where things like cutlery would go, or in my family we call it the man drawer. It comes from a Michael McIntyre sketch. He's a famous comedian in the UK who talks about like this drawer that you have in the house that's just full of stuff, and it's just like, you know, you have old takeaway magazines, you have old phones, batteries that should have been thrown out 10 years ago, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just called the drawer. It's the man drawer, because it's all the drawer that you put all the stuff in. So yeah, that's one thing that I do like, that you can at least kind of like make that. Oh, and I've just seen it, so you may have just seen that I put down like a vampire's urn thing, because I was trying to find a vase that matched the one in the picture, and I didn't realize how big it was. But for some reason, I just never pick it up again. Like, I didn't realize until I was like editing the footage that I never picked it up again. again. So I had to go back in and like delete it and stuff for later. So when you download it off the gallery, that won't be just sat there, but it will be there for the rest of the footage. I'm so embarrassed by that. I can't believe I just fully did not notice. Had absolutely no idea it was sat there for literally the whole video. As soon as I put it down, I was like, yeah, it's gone. It's gone from my mind. I found the item I wanted. That's the end of that. And I just moved on, I guess. If you've made it to this point in the video, you probably are enjoying this video. So if you wouldn't mind considering giving it a like or anything. Also, I've been flitting between like 198 and 200 subscribers. So if you are on the fence about subscribing, it would really mean a lot to me if you did. No pressure, obviously. It is completely free, doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps me out a ton. So yeah, if you could consider subscribing, that would absolutely make my day. So you also may have noticed, at least I hope you've noticed, little pictures in the corners that show what I'm referencing. And obviously I know you can't really see those properly. So what we're going to do when this speed build is over and stuff is that we're going to compare, like do a little like, kind of like how Dream Home Decorator does, where we show the before and then we show the after, even though it's not before and after, it's just like a recreation. But that style of thing where we just show off the different pictures and things. So yeah, you'll get a better look at like the whole house and stuff, because I know you haven't like seen it. I wish there was a way that I could share it with you, because obviously The Sims 3 doesn't really have a gallery, and I think potentially you could share it with like tray files and stuff, but I don't know how to do that. And also I don't know how many people watching this actually still have and play The Sims 3, so they would want like a Sims 3 house, because it is like really cool. I really like it, and I think that I probably would play with the recreation because I like it so much. But I don't play The Sims 3 anymore, which is a shame. It's a great game, but I don't play it anymore, so I don't know how useful it would be to be able to download it. But if you do want it, let me know, and maybe I'll talk to my sister and see if we can figure out a way to facilitate that. The next build on this channel is most likely going to be apartments. I know that shocks absolutely no one with the release or the advent of the release of the new pack and stuff. Like everyone, all the Sims YouTubers are making apartments and things like that, and I will be no exception, because I am absolutely stoked for that pack. It is so up my alley and just so what I've wanted for such a long time. Like, I don't know if you guys ever get this, but I sometimes have it where, particularly with The Sims, where if I particularly want something, I don't want to play The Sims if I can't play with that. So it's like, oh yeah, I really want apartments, but I can't play with apartments because it doesn't come out till December 8th. So I don't want to play The Sims. Like, it's so weird, and it's so, I don't understand why I feel that way, but I feel like I don't want to play anything. I don't want to do anything in The Sims at all if it's not that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. I think it's probably a bit of a silly attitude to have, and I do kind of force myself to play The Sims, and then once I'm playing it, I'm like fine and whatever, but there is that initial like, I can't get myself started because I am just so unhappy about the concept of not playing with apartments. And yeah, please let me know I'm not alone in that, because I definitely feel very silly. You can also let me know if you guys are actually going to get that pack. Like, for me, I think it would have always been an instant cop, even if I didn't want to make content on it and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to know, do you guys think that you're going to get it? Is it your kind of vibe? Is it totally not what you want? Is it just for the world or anything? Yeah, just let me know. I'm really interested. But anyway, we are coming towards the end of the build here now, so I am going to leave you, like I said, with a lovely little comparison screenshot thingy so you can see it in its full glory. But with all that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!